On July 3rd, 2012, my husband and I were getting ready for work. Got Alyssa prepared for her lesson. She was scheduled for 9 a.m. with Mr. Guerrera. And my husband and I were both leaving for work. Got her ready and got her situated. And she said she was nervous. She didn't have a good feeling about it. We told her she would be fine.
I was like excited and ready to go, and my mom told me to leave my phone in the garage, but I had a feeling that I should just take it with me.
It was a great lesson. It was Alyssa's first lesson. I distinctly remember Alyssa saying, wow, this really isn't as tough as I thought it would be. She was confident, she was in control, and our lesson was just about over. Just a normal day. Had no idea what was about to happen. The last thing I remember is we were driving around a circle, and I usually take student drivers around a circle twice so they get a little more experience in it. And we came out of the circle and we were heading back towards Alyssa's house, and that's the last thing I remember. Ironically enough, the stretch of road where the accident happened is where I typically talk to kids about distracted driving and speeding. Again, the day of that accident, I don't remember having that conversation with Alyssa, but I'm pretty sure in the minutes, before the accident, that's what we were talking about.
Got a phone call from my husband, and he said, did you see that really bad accident over at 70? I said, no, I didn't. He said, well, look at it online. So I went to NBC 10, looked, saw the accident, and he asked me, have you heard from Alyssa? I said, no, I haven't heard from her yet. But her and Mr. G know each other, which is why we picked him. And I said, they probably just went to lunch or something, or maybe she did an extra hour because she was doing so well. So he said, well, just call her cell phone anyway. He said, this looks like a bad accident. So I went, looked at the pictures, saw the news feed, and had a hard time. I called her cell phone, and then Capitol Health answered, a nurse answered, or a social worker. And she said, your daughter's been in a car accident, and you need to come up here. She arrived with one shoe. My best friend's husband is a fireman and an EMT in a neighboring town. And his comment to me was, when he asked, what did she come out of the car with? I said, one shoe. He said, well, you know what that means? I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. He said, well, for us, he said, when you're doing a rescue of a car accident like that, he said, one shoe, she has a chance. No shoes, she doesn't come out alive. He said, when a car accident knocks you out of your shoes, you don't walk away.
Initially, when I woke up, I had no idea what had happened. We never saw it coming. So as far as I was concerned, I woke up in the hospital not knowing where the last couple hours went. Of course, I was concerned for Alyssa. I was asking where she was, and I was initially told she was right next to me behind a curtain.
We walked into the emergency room, and Alyssa was laying there, and she goes, hi, Mom, I think I broke my wrist. She picked up her arm and showed me her wrist. It was such a relief to see her, and we thought she was okay. And they said, she's got her feet and ankles are kind of broken up. I said, okay, we can deal with that. And they decided that something was really wrong with her and that they had to get her out of there. They found that there was fluid filling around her heart and it was compressing her heart. So they flew her to Cooper and my husband, because they had a trauma center. They were going to cut a small window in, and they cut it right below her ribs. And they found that her heart had been punctured. 6.5 hours later, a lot of crying and praying in the emergency room, the heart surgeon came out and explained to us that it had been a heart injury and that we got her here just in time. They had actually taken it out of her body. One of the surgeons held it in her hand to flip it over. She had punctured it from the back. And they sewed it three different directions, so that it was kind of triple sewn.
I don't think there's anything worse in this world than something happening to your own child. So I can only imagine what her mother and father were going through, knowing that their daughter went through a life-threatening ordeal and is going to be dealing with it for the rest of her life.
My husband and I didn't leave the hospital for 4 days. And it was very hard. It's very hard to not even think about anything else.
When I was in the hospital, I felt a lot of anger, like, why did this happen to me? Why did it have to be me? And I was very upset because I couldn't do anything on my own.
A group of student drivers, actually young drivers, I should say, who have each gotten tickets or points, and they were bringing them through to show them what the trauma unit was like, and they asked permission to show Alyssa, and I said there was no way. Now looking back, I wish I had. Trying to get this message out, it would have made a huge impact on them to see her.
When I was finally discharged from the hospital, it was very exciting to me. I was happy to sleep in my own bed.
She was on bed rest for 18 weeks, and she was set up here in our living room, and somebody stayed with her 24 hours a day.
It kind of makes me sad to know, like, I couldn't do things that I could before the accident. Like, I used to dance, and I wish I could get back into that, but I still, like, live my life and just take it day by day.
I've had my teenage years, and she had a teenage year taken away from her, and that kind of hurt me a lot because you know, you need to enjoy your youth, and she had part of that taken away from her. I see a lot of distracted driving, both as an instructor and just as a driver, and people don't, you know, people tend to act before they think, and you know, it's real important that you take into consideration everybody else on the road and the safety rules that you're taught along the way, because you're not only impacting your own life, you're impacting all the lives of the people on the road and their families that aren't even on the road. For those out there that think that distracted driving and careless driving isn't an issue, it's become very real in my life, and I hope it never becomes real in their life. It's something they certainly won't forget if it happens to them. So if they can be proactive, hopefully they'll never have to go through what Alyssa and I went through on that summer morning.